Let me tell you about Adaeze. She wasn't a Yahoo girl. She wasn't a bad person. She was just at the wrong place, at the wrong time. You see, when Uche died, screaming inside his Lexus, blood dripping from his nose, everyone thought it ended there. But curses don't just end. Curses look for a new home. And that night, the curse found her. The beginning. Adaeze was just passing by. She worked at a phone kiosk, selling cheap second-hand phones and airtime. She didn't know Uche personally. She only knew of him, the rich guy who drove past in his tinted Lexus, who wore gold chains bigger than his wrists. When the police pulled the body out of that car, they left the Lexus on the side of the street. Maybe they forgot. Maybe they were too scared. Late that night, after everyone left, Adaeze passed by. She heard it. A whisper. Coming from the car. Come closer. Take it. It's yours. Her body froze, but her legs moved on their own. The window was down just a little. Enough to see something shining inside. A red bucket. Filled with bundles of cash. So much money her mind almost broke trying to count it. She looked left. She looked right. Nobody. She didn't think. She didn't pray. She didn't run. She reached through the window and grabbed the red bucket. That was her first mistake. Day one, the first voice. Adaeze locked herself in her tiny one-room apartment that night. She didn't touch the money at first. She just stared at it. She thought maybe she was dreaming. She would wake up soon and find herself back at her kiosk, arguing over 200 Nigerian Nairas recharge cards. But morning came. And the bucket was still there. She sat on the floor, shaking. That's when she heard it. The voice. Spend it. She looked around. Nobody. Spend it fast. Before it spends you. The voice wasn't from outside. It was inside her head. She covered her ears. She screamed. But the voice stayed. And it was laughing. Day two, the shopping spree. Maybe she thought if she obeyed, it would stop. Adaeze took bundles of cash, stuffed them into a nylon bag, and went out. She bought a brand new iPhone. She bought designer clothes. She bought sneakers worth 3 months of her old salary. She didn't even negotiate prices. She threw money like a madwoman. People whispered. Some smiled at her. Some stared like she was crazy. She didn't care. She just wanted the voice to go away. But that night, it came back. Louder. Deeper. Angrier. Not enough. Spend faster. Or you will feed it. She didn't understand. Feed what? But in the dark corner of her room, she saw something move. Something crawling. Day 3, the eyes. Adaeze didn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw them. Eyes. Small. Red. Watching her from under the bed, from inside the closet, from behind the door. She moved out of her apartment that morning. Checked into a hotel. A fancy one. Paid cash up front. No ID. Maybe the spirits wouldn't follow her there. Maybe she could spend enough money quickly, drown the curse in receipts and shopping bags. But that night at the hotel, it got worse. When she turned off the lights, the walls started breathing. When she looked at the mirror, her reflection smiled on its own. And when she tried to run, the door disappeared. She screamed. No one heard. Only the voice answered. Day 4, blood on the money. By morning, Adaeze forced herself out of the hotel. She couldn't breathe in that room anymore. The walls still whispered even after she left. She sat outside, near the hotel parking lot, shaking. The nylon bag of money was still with her. But now, it smelled. It smelled like blood. When she opened the bag to check, she almost vomited. The cash was wet. Sticky. Some of the notes were soaked in fresh blood. She dropped the bag and staggered back. A man walking past saw the money. His eyes widened. He started towards her. Fast. Adaeze grabbed the bag and ran. She ran like something was biting at her heels. She ran until her legs gave out. She collapsed under a bridge. And the voice returned. Keep running. Keep spending. The blood is yours if you stop. Day 5, the crawlers. She woke up at night. Under the bridge. It was cold. The bag of money sat beside her like a living thing. At first, she thought she was alone. Then she heard them. The crawlers. She didn't know what else to call them. Dozens of them, maybe hundreds, shadows of people without legs, dragging themselves across the ground. Their fingers long and sharp, scratching the cement. Making a horrible screeching sound. Their mouths were open wide, but no sounds came out. They surrounded her slowly. Moving closer. Closer. Adaeze screamed and grabbed the bag. She ran. But the crawlers followed. Even when she left the bridge. Even when she reached the open road. Even when she hid inside a public toilet. They waited. They scratched. They whispered, "Give it. Give it. Feed us." Day 6, the useless spending. Adaeze found a small electronics shop the next morning. She was desperate. She rushed in and threw cash on the counter. She didn't even ask for change. She bought 10 TVs, 4 refrigerators, 6 washing machines. She didn't even have a house to put them in. People thought she was mad. Some laughed. Some filmed her with their phones. But she didn't care. She kept spending. The money didn't reduce. It felt like the more she spent, the more bundles appeared inside the bloody bag. She cried in the corner of the shop. The shopkeeper stared at her with fear. He muttered something under his breath. She's cursed. She's carrying death. Adaeze ran out again. Her hands were shaking. Her legs weak. The bag was still heavy. And now, it was dripping blood openly. Night 6, the thing at the door. She hid in an abandoned building that night. No windows. No lights. Just cracked cement and cold air. She sat in a corner, hugging the bloody bag. Crying silently. Then, she heard footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Something walking towards her from the broken hallway. Adaeze didn't breathe. She pressed herself against the wall. The footsteps stopped just outside the door. Then a voice spoke. Not the one in her head. This one was outside. And it was wrong. It was broken, like a tape that had been played too many times. Adaeze. Open the door. She didn't move. The thing knocked. Slow. Hollow. Knock. 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 Adaeze. Give it back. She squeezed her eyes shut. She clutched the bag tighter. She whispered. Please. Please. I didn't know. But the knocking got louder. Harder. Boom. 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 Until the door shook on its hinges. Until dust fell from the ceiling. Adaeze screamed. The door burst open. And she saw it. A figure, made of torn flesh and dripping money, crawling toward her. No face. Only a black hole where the head should be. And from that hole, the voice hissed. The last attempt. Adaeze made one last plan. She found a rundown orphanage. She carried the bag of bloody money to the front gate. The children inside watched her with blank eyes. Adaeze dumped the money on the steps. She screamed. Take it. Take all of it. But the woman running the orphanage came outside, took one look at the money, and slammed the door shut. From inside, the children whispered. We don't take cursed gifts. Adaeze screamed in frustration. She grabbed the bag and ran again. Ran until her body couldn't carry her anymore. Ran until she collapsed under a dead tree. And then the final voice came. Not a whisper. Not an inside her head sound. It spoke from everywhere. From the sky. From the ground. From the blood-soaked bag. One day left. Night 7, the dream that wasn't a dream. That night, Adaeze thought she was asleep. She dreamed she was lying in a dark river. The water was cold. It smelled like death. Above her, shadowy figures circled. They didn't have faces. They only had mouths full of sharp teeth. They leaned down to whisper into her ears. Spend it or become it. She woke up, or thought she did, and realized her body was floating in midair. The bag of money was wrapped around her chest like a snake. And crawling up her legs, her stomach, her arms, were hands. Hands without bodies. Cold. Slimy. Grabbing her skin. Pulling her down into the ground. Into the dark. She kicked. She screamed. She fought. She beat down on a hand until it bled black smoke. But still, they dragged her halfway into the earth. When the sun rose, half of Adaeze's body was buried in the ground. Day 8, the final day. Morning of day 8. The bag was empty now. But Adaeze wasn't happy. Because she knew the money wasn't the real curse. She was the money now. Her skin was cracking like old paper. Her blood was turning black. Everywhere she went, people turned away in fear. Dogs barked at her. Children cried. Mirrors refused to show her reflection. She was no longer Adaeze. She was just a carrier. A new bucket. A new trap. Waiting for the next fool to pick her up. Final hours, the choice. Around 11 p.m., Adaeze sat at a bus stop. Her mind was almost gone. The voice whispered. Soon. Almost time. A boy passed by, maybe 17 years old. He was poor. Wearing broken sandals. Carrying a bag of groundnuts to sell. He looked at Adaeze. At the torn bloody bag beside her. At the scattered notes fluttering in the wind. His eyes widened. Money. Adaeze didn't speak. She just smiled. Her first smile in days. The boy bent down slowly. He picked up a note. Then another. And another. Without knowing it, he touched Adaeze's back. Without knowing it, he looked into her dead, cracked eyes. And in that moment, the curse passed. Ending the new career. Adaeze stood up. Light as air. The bag disappeared from her hands. The boy now carried it, whistling, dancing, not knowing the nightmare he just welcomed. Adaeze walked into the night. She didn't know where she was going. Maybe into the river. Maybe into the soil. Maybe into someone else's dream. But one thing was sure. She was free. And the curse had found new life.